Salmonella is a bacteria. It's the second most common bacteria. It's responsible for about 1.5 million cases of foodborne illness every year. Of those 1.5 million people who get sick, about 500 to 600 people will die. So it's a really, again, it's a pretty serious organism. It's not to be taken lightly. How Salmonella is spread, what I'd like to do, I'll use the example of the outbreak that occurred in 2008. This contamination occurred in the fields. Salmonella was in the environment, it got onto the product, and the consumers used these products and then consumed the salmonella and became ill. Another way people can get infected is once an infected person becomes ill, they don't use good hygienic practices, don't wash their hands. Again, they can spread it to family members and other people that they come in contact with. How long does salmonella survive, and what environments are favorable for growth? Does holding at a higher temperature, higher humidity, more favorable than colder temperatures and lower humidities? You would think the higher temperature would favor growth and longer survival. Quite honestly, it's the opposite. Once you chill the bacteria down, they tend to go into a hibernation sleepy mode, and they tend to live a lot longer. And again, making the problem a little bit worse. We've also looked at what happens when tomatoes are injured versus whole tomatoes. This is where we found even the slightest little pinprick can cause the growth of millions of salmonella in the course of 3 days. Is anything being done about this problem? And quite honestly, first off, what people need to know is that the number of outbreaks is probably getting less. But we're hearing about them more. We have 24-hour news service, the internet. So what we're seeing is probably a decrease in the number of foodborne illnesses, but an actual increase in the number of stories that people are hearing. So the number of outbreaks are probably going down, and the food supply is probably safer than it's ever been. Once a product becomes contaminated, especially if it becomes internalized, it's almost impossible to remove the pathogen without cooking. So if it's a cooked product like a steak or a chicken, it's really easy to deal with. You just heat it up to a temperature of about 165 degrees and you're safe. Most of these pathogens are really susceptible to heating.